Here are two things you need to do to play more musically, and they both have to do with the bow and how we are holding it and moving it on the string. What we do with the bow is everything when it comes to music making. These are bowed instruments. The bow produces the sound, and so the bow hand technique is what we have to develop in order to play more musically. The first thing that I teach students when they come to me is independence of the hand. What does independence mean? It means that the hand can move in the way that it needs to while the other parts of the arm are moving the way they need to. It does not mean the hand is moving while the rest of the arm is staying still. That is not independence. When the arm is moving in a musical way, all the parts are doing their job to control the weight and get the bow into the string in just the right way to get a musical tone. Here is what happens when everything is moving in lockstep. No independence. And of course, my personal favorite. That's awful. When things are not loose, when the arm is very stiff, you can actually end up lifting the bow off the string and not getting very much weight into the bow. And that's why you get that very thin, very shallow sound, as you just heard. Independent movement of the hand and the other parts of the arm are what allow you to get the weight into the bow and thus into the string in the way that you need to in order to make a more full tone, a more musical sound. The other thing that makes a big difference is the action of the fingers. When we are playing musically, we are constantly finessing the bow into the string and manipulating it with our fingertips and exerting this action on the bow. I point this out separately, this finger action, because it doesn't always happen automatically when the wrists and fingers start to loosen up and move independently. The hand moving in this way, back and forth, really is a separate thing from the fingers moving on the bow like this, and what I have learned recently after many years of teaching is that you have to focus on both to get that more musical sound. The best way to learn this is through the collé bow stroke and some exercises built around the bow stroke. Here are a few examples I would do as a beginner. If you want a little bit more advanced scale, just go out farther in the bow. You can even go out to the tip. Or maybe just do it on one of your pieces, like, say, Twinkle. The collé bow stroke is defined as a sharply pinched attack on the string. Or another favorite definition is that it's a bowed pizzicato because it feels like we are plucking the string with the bow here. You pinch down on the string, do the string wiggle, and then scoop the bow into the string to pop it into a great tone. I actually have a whole video dedicated to the collé bow stroke and some more advanced versions of these exercises, and I will link it up here. If this collé exercise is too advanced, I suggest playing the perpetual motion and or etude from book 1 with the stop-stop bows, and I would suggest doing that regardless, actually. This instruction is actually in the book, and it's for this reason, to teach the fingers the correct action that they must exert on the bow. Here is what I mean by stop-stop bows. Stopping the bow after each note with a hard stop. So here it is in perpetual motion. Or in etude. When I say these are the first things I teach students, I mean that quite literally. Sometimes I have students start with me in book 2 or book 3 because that is where their facility is on the cello. They have a knowledge of the fingerboard, they are reading notes, and they can get around on the cello, and so they should start in book 2 or 3 or even 4 in some cases. But in many, very many cases, these students have not achieved independence of the right hand. They don't know how to flex the fingers into the frog and subsequently the string, and so they play perpetual motion and the collé exercises alongside anything else we are learning. If you need to go through the perpetual motion and get the doubles up to speed with a great tone, watch these videos right